Hi folks, this is PapaDroid for WiredLeaks.com and of course PapaDroid reviews. And today I'm coming to you with the Redmi Note 7. The Redmi Note 7, this device has been talked about a lot and it's absolutely stunning when it comes to camera. I'm going to show you the working of the Redmi MIUI application, and of course I'm also going to show you what this device does once you use the GCam of Google, and you will see that the pictures are even better. 48 megapixel camera on the rear, joined with a 5 megapixel depth sensor, 13 megapixel front camera with automatic stabilization. So I think for the price this device is absolutely fantastic. It comes with a Snapdragon 660. The global version has 3 or 4 gigs of RAM and 32 or 64 gigs of ROM. Of course, I was lucky, I got the Chinese version with the 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of ROM, which is absolutely great. It's fast, it's snappy, and it feels like a premium device, like a flagship device actually, with everything you do, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna do a full review soon, but for now let's take a look at the front camera and the rear camera. This is shot with the stock MIUI app for the camera, and I'm gonna do a 360 for you so you can see what it does. Let's turn this baby right into the sun and look at the dynamic range. It just keeps going, and you probably still see me. Alright, that being said, let's switch to the rear camera. I'm going to show you some samples of the rear camera. Again, it's also the stock MIUI cam app that I'm going to show you, and then we're going to switch to the Google GCam, and you'll be the judge of the difference in picture quality. There we go. Now the first thing you notice is the fantastic saturation of the pictures. Colors are really jumping out of the screen, and okay, sometimes it's slightly oversaturated, especially when the sunlight hits special parts. On the other hand, the dynamic range is really great. When you look at pictures that are usually overexposed, you take the Redmi Note 7 and you can get a great shot anyhow. Saturation is spot on, dynamic range is great, and all in all, daylight pictures always turn out perfectly. Also, wind is not a problem. The shutter speed is fast and you can take pictures of leaves and flowers without any blur there. And look at the evening sun in the next picture. There you go. It's fantastic how the shadows and the light plays along. Now let's take a look at some indoor pictures. Indoors, it's really hard to make great pictures with a smartphone, but the Redmi Note 7 doesn't seem to have a problem with it. It doesn't matter if the light is slowly lower than outside. It doesn't matter if it's slightly dark. The camera quality is spot on every time. Also the selfie cam, it works quite well, also in darker situations, and I'm really impressed with the overall performance of this camera. Now let's take a look at some video. Okay, here we are with the rear camera of the Redmi Note 7. Like I said, it comes with a 48 megapixel camera combined with a 5 megapixel depth sensor. It comes with continuous autofocus, as you can tell. And of course it has electronic image stabilization, which makes sure that you have a great picture all in all. Let me walk with the camera so that you can actually get an idea of the stabilization and how it works. And let's go. Right there. So yeah. Now, like promised, I'm gonna show you the front and rear camera and how it looks once you're using the GCam. There we go. Alright, now please keep in mind that we're still using the very same Redmi Note 7. Only this time I'm using the GCam application of Google. Look at the depth, look at that dynamic range, and look at those colors. Now let's zoom in for a bit, see what that brings us. Look at this, people. I love it. Okay, now let's switch to the front camera and see what that does. Here again we're filming on a slightly more cloudy day, and still the Redmi Note 7 performs great. The autofocus is spot on, it's fast, it's not breathing, it's getting everything in focus just as it's supposed to be, and it looks really, really good. Also, the dynamic range, it adjusts in a blink of a second, and it makes sure that the video always turns out great. Now let's look at a video in the morning sun, and the sun was quite low and bright, and I decided to walk a bit with the camera, and then you can see the stabilization is absolutely spot on. Now let's try and zoom in a bit and see what that does. Just look at that reflection, people. And then again, the autofocus is really, really fast. There you go. It's absolutely great. So also dynamic range. Let's turn this camera into the sun. There's no shadows. It's not black. You can see the details even if it's turned directly into the sun. Now for the low light pictures. Of course, we also want to do a front camera test of the Redmi Note 7 in darkness. So it's evening, as you can tell, street lights are on right behind me, and I'm gonna do the same 360 for you I just did there with the rear camera, only this time I'll be using the front camera, obviously. And just look at the quality of those pictures. Even there's no light flare at all, it's just crisp and clear. And yeah, the same conclusion as we drawn before. The Redmi Note 7 is absolutely stunning when it comes to cameras. It's the best budget camera phone that you can afford at the moment. So I hope this video helps to give you an impression of what this phone actually can do. Also, in other low light situation, when you filming a sunset or sunrise, in this case a sunset, you can see the details are still there. Even zooming in, it doesn't lose quality. It's slightly more noisy, but then again, look at this. It's absolutely great. So how does it perform when it's completely dark outside? Let's take a look at this. Okay, there's a little bit more noise in the picture, of course, but then again, put it against other budget phones of this price range, and you have to agree, it's hard to find a phone that shoots better videos in nighttime than the Redmi Pro 7, the Note 7, sorry. I have tried the Mi 8 Lite the last couple of days, and even that one doesn't perform as well in complete darkness as we can see the Redmi Note 7 do. So yeah, it's absolutely great there. Even in complete darkness, look at the tree. It's still there, it's still color. And just say hi to the doggy. Okay. Now low light pictures, that's quite a different story. They're not grainy, not any compromise there. It takes just fantastic shots, other than video. As you can see, it doesn't matter if it's just cloudy or really dark, it performs every time. Now another great thing about the Redmi Note 7 is the fact that it's slightly waterproofed. So that means you're okay if you shoot photos in the drizzling rain like this, and your phone will still survive. And again, night pictures on this phone look absolutely great. I could talk and talk, but then again, the pictures speak for themselves, don't they? Now, my favorite part, the macro shots. Let's go look at that. Macro shots with the Redmi 7 turn out perfectly, basically every time. The saturation is great, the focus is great, the blur effect, the bokeh effect on the background of the pictures is spot on. And zooming in will basically let you lose no quality whatsoever. I mean, just look at this. Yeah, there's nothing you can say about pictures like this. They're just perfect. And of course, it only gets better once you choose to use the GCam, which is easily installed on the Redmi Note 7. You just have to download it and it works. Even the night mode and such work, which is absolutely fantastic. You can also use the stabilization. And let's try cropping some pictures just to see how good the camera really is. Now this is a great picture in itself, but let's zoom in and see how clear you can see the windows. Now zoom in again and look at, there's basically no loss in quality whatsoever. And it looks really, really good, even cropped. For example, this, see how sharp everything remains. Everything is just spot on. So even zooming in or just cropping your picture won't let you lose a lot of quality, and you certainly don't get pixelated pictures. I mean, just look at this, how much detail there's still available once it's cropped. Look at this, the shadows. It's just fantastic. Okay, I spoke about GCam before. Let's take a look at some GCam shots now. Even though it's a great shot. You can see the GCam always makes it better, more natural. The second picture is always the GCam picture. The first picture is the Redmi Note 7 stock app. And also here it proves the GCam is the boss. You can say whatever you want, but the GCam on the Redmi Note 7 is definitely what you want. It makes a perfect camera phone even better, and that's just, for a price under the €200 range, it's unique. Yeah, there's little to say about pictures like this. I mean, I can go on and on about how perfect they are, but just looking at the pictures, I'm pretty sure you will draw the same conclusion. So I'm just going to shush and let you enjoy the pictures for a bit. So our conclusion, the Redmi Note 7 is the best budget camera phone out there at the moment, and I definitely recommend it. Of course, the Redmi Note 7 is on its way, and I'll review that soon. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.